ready to do this thing. Oh crap, I pushed the wrong button.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another amazing episode of The Basement, where
Yes.
we like to talk about things theologically, practically, and hilariously. My name is Tristen,
And I'm Ezra.
and today we are going to be diving back into another book of the Bible, 2 Samuel.
La Santa Biblia.
And, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Different.
We're going to have questions.
Different.
I said fun. What's wrong with fun?
Different. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's I'm saying it's different than what we typically do. The systematic way that we go and approach this thing will fudge cakes, it came back. Well, the way we approach this will be different. We will have book, we will have word question, we ask question. When question answered, it comes out as proper form like answer. Make a sense now?
I think so.
That's good. Okay, let's dive into first question of 2 Samuel. First question.
Let's get. Hold on. Before we get
What
too
would
crazy.
you like to do?
Okay, so here's what I would like to do. I want
Okay.
to intro the book.
Okay, do you need a summary?
We can do a summary.
Let's get a summary because the
I can do a summary without
the
AI.
T
No, the LTT. Literal Tristan translation. You
Yes,
gotta get it right.
the LTT is a little bit excessive, so we're going to
no,
AI
I can be
translate.
bad. I can do good.
Are you sure?
Yes, let me do good.
No.
Let me do
no,
good.
No.
Yes,
No.
let me do
no,
good.
No.
Anyways,
I
First
typed,
Samuel.
I typed Gork.
So, anyways, 1 Samuel ended off.
Summarize.
Hey!
Summary of 1 Samuel. This will be good because then you don't have to get focused on one thing.
As it gives you an entire frickin' essay.
No?
Yes.
It's like that's not a big essay.
I would have only given a small snippet.
Your small snippet is not enough then, I guess.
Okay, 1 Samuel is all about King Saul being crowned as the first king of Israel and all of his mistakes. Then, King David is anointed because King Saul was disobedient to the Lord. So, his kingdom passes on to David. David gets into King Saul's palace and becomes one of his servants. And then David ends up gaining a lot of favor with the people, and Saul gets jealous. Saul wants to kill him. David runs away, ends up gathering 600 men while he's on the run, and Saul is chasing him throughout the land of Israel until finally a large battle between Saul and the Philistines happens. Saul and all of his sons die at the end of 1 Samuel, and now there's no one that's really going to stand in the way of David getting to his throne, which is where we get to 2 Samuel.
Nice.
There you go.
You're welcome.
I didn't need AI for that.
Good job. Job well done.
So, yeah. So,
Well, it's good.
this is good. This is very, very good.
This have question we can go over today. Summarize this chapter real quickly.
What?
Well, if we summarize each chapter, then go back and answer question, it will have lots of content to go over and talk about.
Yeah, this probably should have been talked about before we started.
It's okay, we fix now. The words come out now, brother. Alright. An Amalekite reports Saul's death to David, bringing Saul's crown and bracelet, claiming to have killed him at Saul's request. David mourns deeply for Saul and Jonathan, composing his lament. He excuses the Amalekite
Executes.
Oh yes, excuses basically.
Execute.
But no, listen. Excuses and executes can basically be the same thing. You're excused from life.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. He executes the Amalekites for striking the Lord's anointed. David inquires of the Lord and
This is
moves
chapter
to
2 now.
Hebron. Oh yes, chapter 2. David inquires of the Lord and moves to Hebron, where the tribe of Judah anoints him. King
Judah.
Judah.
is Judah.
Either way, I talk how I want to talk.
I'm
Anoint
clarifying
him
for those listening.
king. Meanwhile, Saul's commander Abner installs Ishbosheth,
Ishbosheth.
Saul's son, as king over the northern tribes, Israel. Civil war begins. The house of David and Saul. Joab, David's commander, defeats Abner in battle at Gibeon. Though Abner kills Joab's brother Ashel in pursuit.
Asahel.
Okay, whatever. Chapter 3. Abner quarrels with Ashel and defeats David to promising unite.
Defects to David.
Yes, defects and promising to unite Israel under him. David demands the return of his wife Michal. Joab's murders and Abner in revenge. David publicly mourns Abner to distance himself from the act. In chapter 4, two of Ishbosheth's captain assassinate him and bring him his head to David. Expecting reward, David condemns the murder and executes them. Excuses. It's basically the same word, just look different with X. All Israel recognized David king in Hebron. He captured Jerusalem, the Jebusite stronghold, making his capital the city of David. Aram the Tyrant aids in building his house. David defeats the Philistines twice, affirming God's support. That was chapter 5, if I did not mention that already. This is the establishment and blessing of David's reign, chapter 8 to 6 to 10. I looked at the 6, it looked like an 8, whatever. Chapter 8, David brings the Ark of the Covenant, not government, the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem with great celebration. Through Uzziah dies for touching it improperly. Don't touch it improperly, it will not end good for you. David dances before the Lord. Michal despises him for it, leading to her barrenness, basically meaning she cannot have a child. In chapter 7, David declares to build the temple of God through Nathan the prophet. God instead promises to build David a house, dynasty. His offspring will succeed him, and his throne will endure forever. The Davidic Covenant, a foundational promise pointing toward the Messiah. David responds with a prayer of humble gratitude. Well, this is very difficult to hold this, whatever. Alrighty, chapter 8. A summary of David's military victories over Philistine, Moabites, Ammonites, and Armenia, Syrians, and Edomites. He administers justice and expands Israel's borders. His officials are arrested. Why did you not correct me?
On justice?
I said justice and you did not correct me.
I was allowing you to read
I was
through.
waiting for you to correct me.
I was waiting for you to finish the sentence.
I said justice, and he said not to correct me, apparently. Chapter 9.
Welcome.
What?
I said you're welcome.
Whatever.
I decided to...
Whatever, don't care. Oh, no reverse card. Alright. David shows kindness to me. Oh, how to say word?
Mephibosheth.
Yeah, that word. Jonathan's crippled son, for Jonathan's sake, restoring Saul's lands to him and granting him place at royal table. Chapter 10. David sends envoys comfort the new Ammonite king after his father's death, but they are humiliated. This provokes war. Aramean mercenaries.
Yep.
Joab defeats them decisively.
Good.
David's sin and initial consequences. Chapter 11 and 12.
Your accents stay changing?
Yes, it is. During the time when the king went to war, David remains in Jerusalem. Sees Bathsheba bathing, commits adultery with her, and arranges the death for her husband Uriah in a hittle in battle to cover the skin.
Wow.
Are you okay?
I did not expect you to go this way with your accent, but
The
sure.
Hittite in the battle to cover the skin. Chapter 12.
Cover the skin.
The skin.
The scene.
Chapter 12. Nathan confronts David with a parable. David repents upon recognizing his guilt and sin against the Lord.
It's changing
God,
again.
God forgives him but pronounces judgment. The child born to Bathsheba will die, and calamity will rise. David's son, the house child David, worships Solomon born Bathsheba, named Jedediah by God. Beloved by the Lord, David subdues Ammon and captures Rabbah.
Wow.
There was a lot of words there. Okay, my accent fluid ran out.
So, yes. So, this is all about David being restored as the actual king of Israel. And all the events that take place trying to get him to his actual throne. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that happen. There are murders.
Dun dun dun.
More specifically, assassinations. There is quite a bit of fighting still amongst David's enemies.
We should totally have lightsabers so we can enact all the fighting.
I need to charge them.
You're fired!
You can't fire me, I quit.
You can't quit, I fight! Wait, no, what? You can't quit, I quit!
What?
I can't fire you, I quit. You can't quit, Wait, what? There's a whole skit that comes with that. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I know.
You fired. You can't fire me, I quit. You can't quit, I quit. You can't quit, I don't, wait, what was it? I forgot the word, or whatever.
You have so many accents going on all at once.
I don't even know what's going on.
Alright,
anymore.
so we have some questions to ask each other.
All of the questions.
To dive further into the first 12 chapters of 2 Samuel.
That is correct.
So do you want to go first or should I?
Would you like me to ask question number 1?
Sure.
Okay. I'll say it normally. David mourns the death of Saul and Jonathan deeply, even though Saul had been his enemy. How does this show us about handling grief and respecting authority even when it's complicated?
Well, David says multiple times that Saul was the Lord's anointed. He had respect for God's choice, even though Saul was not a great person. And he also grieved them because of how great Saul was, actually. He even had an entire lament for Saul and Jonathan that he ordered all of his men to sing in remembrance of Saul and Jonathan. Because even though leaders can make bad decisions and can be dishonoring to their subjects, there is a level of honor that is still needed from the subjects.
Yeah.
Because we still need to respect our leaders. We still need to honor our leaders. In this country, it's very easy because of our freedom of free speech to say that it's within our right to be disrespectful or dishonorable of our leaders.
Technically it is, but like it doesn't really look good towards you.
Right. Which I think the entire idea of honor should be placed way higher than our freedom of what we can say.
Yeah.
Because God has power over who is in office and who is not. And whoever is in there has been given authority by God's hand. So if you disrespect the leader, you are disrespecting God. Even though that leader may be making poor decisions, you disrespecting them as a person or as a leader is dishonoring the one who put them there in the first place.
That's fair.
So what can be done is that, like, during times when things aren't going well, we can try to address them, but in a way that is not thinking we are holier than thou, and also in a way that is showing that we understand what position we are within the government or our workplace.
What about corrupt government?
There is a line to be drawn for certain scenarios.
Thou shalt not bow to other gods but this one king.
Right. So, for example, in Daniel, in the book of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are in a crowd of people, and the king's order is that once you hear the trumpets and the lyres and the harps, you will bow down to this great statue in the image of the king and worship it. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Like, nah, Holmes. I'm
Do
gonna
not do that. But they come before the king.
Mm-hmm.
Because the king sees them and they're like, bring them to me because they are not following my orders.
Yeah.
And they tell the king, boldly but respectfully, that they will not bow down to any idol or statue or to the king in a form of worship because they worship God alone.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in a way that, like, if the leader is in absolute opposition to God, and they tell you to do something in opposition to God, be obedient to God. Like, there's a difference between disrespecting someone on social media and slandering them because you dislike their personality, and not following a direct order to kill an innocent person. Like, there's a completely different thing between the two.
What was the correlation for that?
The idea of, like, you can still be honorable in being disobedient to a leader's instruction when it conflicts with obeying God. So you should also have honor if that doesn't happen. And you basically, honor and respect are above everything else. Like, it's a different thing from morality. It's not based upon whether a person is moral or not. It's based upon whether they are human and whether they have authority. That's what honor and respect is based off of. Morality is all based upon God and the word that he has given to us. So, yeah.
Yeah. Just processing. I think that doesn't quite answer the question in general, though. Like, what is the lamenting part?
The grief part?
Yeah. That was, like, over, like, law changing.
Because we went over honor and respect.
I think it's more, the question more along the lines of, like, why was there so much full of emotion? Why did he... Like, he literally wrote a whole thing about it.
I think it's because David understood God's heart towards Saul. He understood God's love. And Saul was also the first king of Israel. And he did do great things for Israel, but just failed in a few areas. And I think David wanted to honor Saul like God would have wanted Saul honored in his death. So, yeah.
How did he die?
Saul died by his own sword. Jonathan and his brothers were all killed by the Philistines in the battle. But yeah, I think it was just, trying to have the same heart as God when it came to honoring Saul in his death.
Yeah.
So, to put it simply.
Yes, he did it. Good job.
Okay. Okay, so besides this lament that David has for Saul, what are other ways that he honors Saul? And his family line, I should be more specific.
Does he give them anything?
It does talk about in chapter 9 specifically.
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9. There is something that he does in chapter 9.
To Mephibosheth.
Mephibosheth.
This difficult to say. Ah, I am servant. Kindness.
So what exactly does David do with Mephibosheth?
I'm trying to look and find. Came to David. The son of Saul came to David and fell on his face, prostrated himself. And David said, Mephibosheth. And he said, Here is your servant. David said to him, Do not fear, for I will surely show kindness to you for the sake of your father Jonathan. and I will restore you to all the land of your grandfather. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Land is important.
Very important.
That's his thing. Giving land back. Okay, and then... Oh, and you shall eat at my table regularly. That seems like it might be important.
Very.
Very important. Regular, good table. Good. Again he prostrated himself and said, What is your servant that you should regard regard a dead dog like me?
Mephibosheth is saying that to David.
Okay, then the king called servants. Ziba said to him, all that belonged to Saul and to his house I have given to your master's grandson, and your sons and your servants shall cultivate the land for him, and you shall bring in the produce, so that your master's grandson may have food. Nevertheless, Mephibosheth, whatever you want to say it, your master's grandson shall eat at my table regularly. Did I just read the same thing twice?
No, you're good.
Okay. Table regularly. Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. Ziba said to the king, According to all that my lord the king commands his servant, so your servant will do. So Mephibosheth ate at David's table as one of the king's sons. Mephibosheth had a son whose name was Micah, and all who lived in the house of Ziba were servants of Mephibosheth. So, why do I keep saying this word? Lived in Mephibosheth. Lived in Jerusalem, for he ate the king's table regularly. Now he was lame in both feet.
So yeah, how Mephibosheth became lame was a nurse was taking care of Mephibosheth, and she heard the news of Saul and Jonathan's death in the battle, and she dropped him.
Oh.
And so his legs were broken, and he wasn't able to walk correctly, and
When he was a child?
When he was a child.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But yeah, Mephibosheth was given all the lands of Saul, and was told that he could eat at King David's table.
I wonder how their wheelchairs worked back then.
I don't think they had wheelchairs. I think they just carried him. Either they carried him, or he was like led by the shoulder. Like they had like one arm around the neck of a servant, another arm around the neck of another servant, and they walked to the palace. But yeah, you're right about Mephibosheth getting all of Saul's land back. That was important. Whatever. It's so crazy. It's basically a chariot for a singular human.
Yeah.
It's basically what it would be in their minds.
Yeah. I want the wheels to be completely rocks. There we go.
Oh my word. That one still has rubber on it.
We're looking currently at wheelchairs from Jesus' time.
If they even had any. I doubt it. But yeah, sitting at the king's table constantly, that was so honorable. Like David respected and honored Jonathan and Saul so much that he didn't want their entire family line to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And he honored the son so much too. Like Mephibosheth was not going to be on the lands that David gave to him, but he still told Ziba and his sons and servants to take care of the land and bring in all the harvests and every part of the produce. Like, he told Ziba to still take care of the land, even though Mephibosheth would not be on that land.
Here's our wheelchair.
Supposedly. The wheelchair that Mephibosheth may have used. This is not...
Not biblically accurate in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
Comedy.
It is comedy, indeed. But yeah, eating at the king's table and being told you have a place here all the time, of course that's going to be an honorable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, you are being told you are a constant guest of mine, and you can have my spoils at my table as a privilege for the rest of your life. Which is crazy. Well, it really did not do what you wanted.
Nope.
Do you have any thoughts on the matter?
I got a little distracted.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, probably not. No. Not now. My brain was on the whole wheelchair of the Stone Age.
Gosh. But, like, the honor for eating at the king's table or the honor of sending land, because you pointed that out.
Well, yeah, well, just in general, land has always been important, and it's something your family can continue to have. Like, it can be passed down from generation to generation to generation, and if you do end up dying, then if your land was owned by the king, then the next king would take it, probably. That's what my assumption would be. If the prior king had it, then the next king would take it.
Most likely. Yeah,
Okay,
if they
yeah.
were related to him, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, like, it was a big thing for him to be like, okay, no, you can have your land back,
Mm-hmm.
rather than him taking it for himself and being able to flourish with it.
Right, yeah, it's true. And this is chapter 9 of 2 Samuel when we read about Mephibosheth.
Mhm.
So David has acquired a lot of the stuff that was part of Saul's kingdom.
Mhm.
So, in all reality, David's not going to lose much either
Mhm.
from doing this.
No.
So he's not a stingy guy.
Relatively humble.
Mm-hmm. He is a humble guy, that's for sure.
But he does make stupid decisions. Not
The-
to say we don't make the stupid
Right,
decisions,
right.
but he does make the stupid
He
decisions.
did make a couple of stupid decisions.
Yes, he does in the future. Okay, next question. Did you ask the second question, did you?
No, I asked the first one to mine.
Yes. Okay. Either way. Alright, imagine being in David's shoes after losing his best friend Jonathan. Now, how might that kind of loss shape a leader's decisions moving forward?
I kind of want to hear from you first.
Bro, I do not have word yet. I have to process question. You speak, I speak. That's how it goes.
If I speak more word than you.
I have to look at question over. You realize that my brain process slower than you,
Well, process slowly in your own time.
and you talk.
No, I'm not gonna talk.
What? This is not good idea for me, Ralph.
I don't care.
Imagine me. You don't know. You have to talk, and I have to think.
It seems slightly counterproductive.
This is very counterproductive for you to not talk. We need you to talk.
I mean, David was very close to Jonathan. He had made a covenant with him, which was a binding, like, to the soul, binding relationship with Jonathan. And for Jonathan to die before, like, old age hit him, that's gotta affect him somehow. Why are you in Joshua?
I don't know how I got here. How do you?
Second Samuel.
How do you even get to Joshua from Samuel?
Entirely sure.
Me neither. I found it. We're good.
There we
I
go.
don't know how I got to Joshua.
I don't know either. But yeah, it had to be quite the loss. Because of how much they loved each other. Like, it wasn't an honor thing between Jonathan and David. It was an honor thing between Saul and David, but not between Jonathan and David. It was a love relationship. They loved each other as brothers.
Okay. That's not questionable.
Like, they were so close.
He wrote a song.
Yeah, he wrote a song. And the lament that we talked about earlier was for Saul and Jonathan.
Yes,
Both
it
names.
says Dirge.
The Dirge.
Dirge. David Dirge for Saul and Jonathan.
It's an interesting word.
He chanted with lament.
So how do you think this loss would affect David moving forward?
He would feel an aching in his soul.
How would that affect his decisions?
Honestly, I don't know.
What?
What?
Think about it.
I don't have a brain to think with.
Yes, you do.
Okay, either way. I listened to chapter went in one ear and out the other ear.
No, just think logically without thinking about the story right now.
Okay.
How would a loss that great affect someone's decisions?
I don't know. Apparently facepalm worthy of my question answer.
What do you like? If my pray this doesn't happen before a time. If my mom died
Yes.
and it was really recently
Yes.
and not of old age,
Yes.
okay? I love my mother.
Uh-huh.
She's amazing.
Uh-huh.
If she died though, how do you think I would be able to live? Do you think I'd be able to live normally after that?
Well, you would be living because you have to continue in life.
True, but how would that affect my decisions moving forward?
I don't know how much it affects your decisions because when I think decisions, I think of like opening the door, walking out, buying groceries. I don't know where the
So
like I can see there's big crater left in heart, but like
yes,
I feel like this decisions farther than just from like the everyday things. Like sure, you add a little more question in prayer about like God make sure my mother is safe or is having good time in heaven kind of thing. You know, like I feel like you would posture your prayer more, but I don't think it would change what color of grapes you buy or
I think the question is asking more about perspective than it is about your actual choices.
what perspective are we trying to go for?
I think what it's trying to get at is that your perspective of your choices will now be seen through the lens of life is short.
I don't think he really got that memo though, because he ends up going and killing his best friend
No, he doesn't.
or getting his best friend killed.
No, he doesn't.
Uriah?
Uriah's not his best friend.
I thought he was his good friend though.
He was a good man in the army, but he wasn't a best friend.
I'm pretty sure that Uriah was David's friend.
No, he was a good man in the army.
I thought they were friends.
No, he was a good soldier. He wasn't a good friend with David.
David
Why are you asking
and
Russ this?
Uriah friend.
But also, between chapter 1 and chapter 12 is a span of 7 years. Actually, no, it's longer than that. It's a couple of decades between chapter 1 and chapter 12. It's a couple of decades.
Oh.
So his perspective of his immediate choices after Jonathan's...
So he was just a mighty man.
Yes. He was not, like, best friends with David.
Then I must have had Bible story taught to me wrong when I was little.
Possible.
Very possible.
Yeah.
I did not learn well when I was little.
It happens. I did not learn certain subjects well either when I was little.
Were you good at math?
I was good at math.
I am not good at math.
I was not great at literature. They asked
I'm just
the weirdest
kidding. I'm very
questions.
good at math. But the joke I was trying to make it did not come across as well as it did.
No. But I think the loss of Jonathan would affect David. Like, he probably wouldn't want to be as bold as he had been. He wouldn't want...
Why would you decrease your boldness?
He's grieving.
Yeah.
Like,
But,
he's working with stuff. He's probably...
Don't you think you can like turn it around though and like turn it into something like an revenge story?
It's possible. Like, I guess that is one option, is that, like, he could turn it into a revenge story. But he could also be like, my best friend, my brother, died before his time. What am I supposed to do now? Like, he'd question life now. He could be really confused about what his purpose actually is. That could be an option.
Mm-hmm.
When we see his life, he doesn't really question that much because, like, he knows God's plan for him was to be king.
Mm-hmm. He was anointed by
But-
Samuel.
Like, loss in general, it brings up so many different ways you could think about it, and some of them are not healthy for you.
Yes, you could establish an eating disorder and then become, what's that word, very skinny because of no food in your body, and then you end up dying because you have lack of food ingestion.
Because you're grieving, you're sad, you don't feel like doing anything.
Yes.
And
You would start singing like Bruno Mars. Today I don't feel like doing anything. But
oh my gosh.
I just want to stay in my bed. I don't feel like picking up my phone. Please leave a message at the tone because today I don't feel like doing anything. You could do that after death. You would not want to do anything.
Are you okay?
What do you mean?
you seem a little bit depressed there, bud.
I am not depressed. I was letting you know that this conversation, if you lose somebody, you'll be lazy.
Then say that.
Well, it's not really lazy. It's more of depressed where you don't talk to people.
Yeah, okay, then
But I was
say
also
that.
I was also singing song lyrics.
Then say you'd be depressed.
What? But I was singing song lyrics.
Yes.
Song lyrics from song by Bruno Mars.
Yes, I'm aware.
Therefore, it was not me depressed because I am not depressed.
Okay.
I am feeling very joyful in my Russian accent.
Okay, that's good. Where were we?
We are talking about what would his posture of his heart be after death.
Not after his death, but after Jonathan's death?
His as in Jonathan.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're talking about there's multiple opportunities for your heart to turn in the multiple best direction. That does not come out of my mouth like I want it to. Your heart can turn to whatever direction you feel. You could go to eating disorder, where you eat not enough or eat too much, and you become my 600-pound stepsister. You know, it's a funny thing. I'm just kidding, but like, there's lots of opportunities for things to happen when your heart gets hurted by your brother being murdered brutally.
I think dropping the accent might actually help.
Why?
Because you're not making a whole lot of sense.
I'm making all of this sense.
No.
Where did I not make sense?
You keep going around and around in circles.
I like circles.
Clearly. Okay. So, you can be depressed.
Yes.
You can also be angry.
Yes.
And make rash decisions.
Or you can be thankful for the time that you had.
You can be.
And you can turn it into something like an revenge story.
An avenge story?
An revenge story.
I don't think the two things you just...
your lost brothers.
I don't think the two things you just said are equal.
They're not.
Okay.
I'm Batman.
Oh my gosh. Are we going to get anything done?
We are getting it done.
Okay, okay, then
For Gotham.
focus.
Justice for Gotham.
Please focus.
I am focused.
Okay.
On justice for Gotham.
I'm gonna read the next question.
We're always skipping past what I want to do though.
It's
This is too fun. This is making it more fun. People will watch this now. They're gonna try to follow the story, and then they're gonna get so confused because I started talking, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I have to watch to see where this actually goes." You know, it's called retention building.
Is it if it's confusing?
100%.
No.
100%.
I'm confused. I don't want to hear this.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
This is how it goes.
If you're
All
going to
right,
say something,
all right,
say it.
all right. Continue.
Okay. Hold on. 1 minute.
Carry on my wayward son.
Okay.
Okay.
So, in 2 Samuel, there are 2 times where people come to David telling him that his enemies have died. And the messengers were actually killed after they gave David the message.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. But I want to read from chapter 1 and chapter 4 where these messengers brought David the message and then they were killed. So, in chapter 1, in verse 6, it says, the messenger says, "I happened to be on Mount Gilboa," he replied, "and there was Saul leaning on a spear. At the very moment the chariots and the cavalry were closing in on him. When he turned around and saw me, he called out to me, so I answered. I'm at your service, he asked me. Who are you? I told him, I'm an Amalekite. Then he begged me, stand over me and kill me, for I am mortally wounded, but my life still lingers. So I stood over him and killed him, because I knew that after he had fallen, he couldn't survive. I took the crown that was on his head, and the armband that was on his arm, and I brought them here to my lord. Then David took hold of his clothes and tore them, and all the men with him did the same. They mourned, wept, and fasted until the evening for those who died by the sword, for Saul, his son Jonathan, the Lord's people in the house of Israel. David inquired of the young man who had brought him the report, Where are you from? I'm the son of a foreigner, he said. I'm an Amalekite. David questioned him, How is it that you are not afraid to lift your hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? Then David summoned one of his servants and said, Come here and kill him. The servant struck him and he died, for David had said to the Amalekite, Your blood is on your own head, because your own mouth testified against you by saying, I killed the Lord's anointed. So that's in chapter 1 of 2 Samuel. That's the death of Saul. In chapter 4, there's another messenger or messengers. Their names are Rechab and Baanah. Rechab and Baanah, the sons of Rimmon. This is chapter 4, verse 5. The Beerothite set out and arrived at Ishbosheth's house during the heat of the day while the king was taking his midday nap. They entered the interior of the house as if to get wheat and stabbed him in the stomach. Then Rechab and his brother Baanah escaped. They had entered the house while Ishbosheth was lying on his bed in his bedroom and stabbed and killed him. Then they beheaded him, took his head, and traveled by the way of the Arabah all night. They brought Ishbosheth's head to David at Hebron and said to the king, Here's the head of Ishbosheth, son of Saul, your enemy, who intended to take your life. Today the Lord granted vengeance to my lord, the king, against Saul and his offspring. But David answered Rechab and his brother Baanah, sons of Rimmon of the Beerothite. As the Lord lives, the one who has redeemed my life from every distress, when the person told me, Look, Saul is dead, he thought he was a bearer of good news, but I seized him and put him to death at Ziklag. That was my reward to him for his news. Now, much more when wicked men kill righteous men in his own house on his own bed. So now, should I not require his blood from your hands and wipe off the earth? So David gave orders to the young men, and they killed Rechab and Baanah. They cut off their hands and feet and hung their bodies by the pool in Hebron, but they took Ishbosheth's head and buried it in Abner's tomb in Hebron. So, David kills these messengers. The first guy, why do you think he killed the first guy? Why did he kill the Amalekite messenger?
With the head in the satchel.
Oh, that's Ishbosheth.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Amalekite guy?
There's supposed to be another one?
The Amalekite guy from chapter 1.
Well, it would have been in there, but Grok's only able to do so much.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, so that is apparently Grok's portrayal of one of the brothers who brought Ishbosheth's head to David. So, why did David kill the Amalekite messenger?
Bad information.
Was that really the reason?
Nope. Probably not.
What was the reason? Bruh.
What?
I'm trying to give you time to speak.
I was speaking English.
Trying to give you time to talk about stuff, and you're not doing anything.
I'm here.
Should I just take over?
What do you mean? He's not liking this. I'm just comedic relief.
Okay. So, the reason why David killed the Amalekite was because, like David said, he killed the Lord's anointed. He didn't have any fear whatsoever. What's crazy is that this is how David hears of Saul's and his son's death. Which is not even the real story of how Saul died. Which is nuts. So the Amalekite lied, probably found Saul's body after the battle, took his crown and his armbands, and came to David hoping for some sort of reward. That's probably what happened. So he made up this story of killing the king when King Saul actually fell on his own sword, and so did his armor bearer, and they died. So the Amalekite is trying to glean something through a lie from King David by saying he has killed King David's enemy. And King David flips it on him and says, "How dare you kill the Lord's anointed?" The Amalekite is probably thinking, I probably shouldn't have lied.
Yeah, probably not.
Which, yeah, this guy had made a very poor choice. Very poor choice. And an Amalekite is not an Israelite. Like, an Amalekite is a foreigner who has been an enemy of Israel. So, like, this guy is stepping out on a very tight rope, trying to get something from King David, and ends up losing his life because of it. And King David, I actually approve of his actions, to be honest, because he had so much honor for King Saul.
More respect.
It could kind of be used interchangeably.
I would say that if, like, he was kind of like, I don't know, I guess I lost the word, but like, it's like, you like, the life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth kind of thing. And so the guy claims, he's like, I killed this guy. I was like, oh, well, clearly since that's not in God's plan, he's like, yeah, you murder, I'm gonna murder you kind of thing. It's like, it's just the whole blood for blood kind of thing. In a sense, because he.
In a sense, yeah. I think David was also thinking about all the times that he had a chance to kill Saul, and someone else decided that it was their right to kill King Saul, when David had had every right to do it multiple times beforehand. But he didn't. And so he was like, how dare you?
I was gonna do that.
And I probably wasn't like that. And then with Ishbosheth, like, obviously he's not going to praise these two guys who bring him the head of Ishbosheth, because they assassinated him in his own room. They did it under so much deception. Their honor was not there. Like, David is all about honor, and their honor was just not there. And he was like, he calls back to the Amalekite saying that this guy came to me telling me that he killed the Lord's anointed, and now you're coming to me saying that you killed him in broad daylight, a righteous man nonetheless. David acknowledges that Saul was not righteous at that time. Ishbosheth is just a king who is in a feud now. He is Saul's son, so he's kind of in there by default. It's not that he necessarily wanted it. He's just the king's son. Now he's the next king, because that's how family lines work with royalty. And he's just there. And David calls him a righteous man. So these two brothers kill a man in cold blood in order to again.
Claim. Right? They claim they kill him?
No, they brought his head.
Oh.
These guys actually did it. The Amalekite claimed.
Oh, okay.
Which was really stupid of him. But it's also really stupid of them to claim that they assassinated a guy and brought the head of a righteous man to David. And David has them killed. And not only that, dishonored because their hands and feet were cut off after they were dead, and their bodies were hung up for the entire world to see. Like, this is what happens to those who decide to kill leaders.
Did they actually end up finding out how it actually happened?
David probably figured out how Saul and Saul's sons died. He probably figured it out somehow. Because, I mean, the Amalekite was just the first one to get to David. And he probably heard from other people of how it actually went down eventually.
So then, do you think he feels badly about, like, doing that at some point to those people who lied to him?
To the Amalekite?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because the Amalekite lied about doing that.
Yeah, so, like, this is my thought, is, like, if I did something like that where I killed somebody after they made it, they lied to me, in that sense, like, after the fact, I'd be like, oh, well,
I've actually
like, in some sense, like, it's like, yeah, sure, it's justified, but, like, it's like, really? Do you still feel the way that you should have killed them because they lied?
He most likely did repent of being so rash if it was a lie, but also the Amalekite was willing to take on the consequences, good or bad, because he lied. So it's still on the Amalekite whether or not David killed them. That's just it. Plain and simple, to be honest. It doesn't matter if it was a lie or not. The Amalekite still decided to do that.
It's fair.
So, yeah. And another really cool thing of David's honor is that the assassination of Abner happens just before Ishbosheth's assassination. Joab is David's commander, and Abner is Saul's commander. And Abner had killed one of Joab's brothers while in battle. And Joab never let it go. Abner figures out that Ishbosheth is very untrusting of Abner. And Ishbosheth actually accuses Abner of sleeping with one of Saul's concubines. And Abner is furious and is like, how dare you? I have served with you. I have served your father honorably and respectfully, and to the letter I have obeyed every law. How dare you accuse me of such a thing? And he, because of this moment, Abner ends up saying to David, I have come in peace. I am coming to help you become king over all of Israel. Joab hears that Abner has come to the king and was dismissed and left. And Joab gets mad and angry that David would associate himself with Abner. And so he calls Abner back, disguising it as a message from King David. Abner comes back, and Joab starts acting like he's wanting to have a conversation with Abner, and ends up stabbing him and killing him.
Oof.
And so Abner dies. Again, another assassination. Dishonorable. And David learns about this, and he curses Joab and his sons. Let me read this. David heard about it later and said, I and my kingdom are forever innocent before the Lord concerning the blood of Abner, son of Ner. May it hang over Joab's head and his father's whole house, and may the house of Joab never be without someone who has a discharge or skin disease, or a man who can only work a spindle, or someone who falls by the sword or staves. Joab and his brother Abishai killed Abner because he had put their brother Asahel to death in a battle at Gibeon. So David curses Joab and his house for this abominable act of assassination, mourns, tears his clothes, put on sackcloth for Abner, his enemy king's commander. Basically equal of an enemy to David as Saul himself, given the fact that he was the commander of the army. David mourns his death. Again, another show of honor.
I had a question. Do you think that back then their expression of emotion was more like shown?
I believe so.
Like the expression of anger, the expression of joy, the expression of fear was more pronounced, like it was more involved rather than just saying it or like a minimal feeling.
I believe so.
How so?
Their mourning, for example, that's definitely, like, their sadness and their grief was definitely better expressed. They would tear their clothing. They would put ashes on their head, like discoloring it, dirtying it, because the head was like the place of beauty, the place of holiness, purity. So they put ash on it to show their sadness, grief. Anger, obviously, like people dying by the sword because someone was angry was a common thing. I think joy was also better expressed, especially in King David's time, because he expressed joy very well, which we may look at here soon with Michal. Yeah, whatever. I'm trying so hard. It doesn't work at any point in time.
Don't think about it. Just go. Okay. Just say the letter H.
Michal.
Just say the letter H. Now pull your tongue back. And say Michal. There you go.
Michal. Okay.
You're adding way too much air. You're over-emphasizing things.
Okay, we're gonna move on. And I do think they express emotion more. Is it better? I'm not sure.
I wasn't saying if it was better or worse, was I?
No.
I think I was just saying, do they express it more than we do?
I think they do express it more because they had more signs of someone actually.
I would 100% say they do express it more.
I'm agreeing with that.
Yeah, I know. You're putting think first, and so I'm trying to push back back up what you're saying, but more emphasize the thing. Yes, they 100% do.
Okay.
Because I say I'm angry, I just say I'm angry. It doesn't mean anything really. It's just like I'm angry. Like, all right, say I'm sad. It just means I'm sad. For them, they say they're angry. You can literally see it in the way that they pose themselves, the way that their clothes are, if their clothes are ripped or their clothes are not. It's like any overflow of emotion, it ended either in some clothes changing or there was dirt or there was something involved that made it so that they were like, this is the expression. I'm like feeling it through my whole body, which is like kind of, I think it seems kind of profound. I don't know, in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's my 2 cents.
That's interesting. And while David's mourning, Abner specifically, he chooses not to eat anything. He says, "May God punish me and do so severely if I taste bread or anything else before sunset." And that action specifically made all the people take note and understand that David was completely innocent of Abner's death. They recognized that, oh yeah, David was not making a political move here. This was all done by Joab. Like, it was Joab working on his own. And so David is looking righteous in the people's eyes because he's willing to do the honorable thing. Again, David is just stacking honorable action on top of honorable action, saying, if you dishonor, you are basically dead to me. He did that with the Amalekite, he did that with the brothers that killed Ishbosheth, and he also did that with Joab.
Dishonor on you, dishonor a cow, dishonor on family.
Which, so if you wanted to wrap up David into one word, honor is the word that would wrap David up.
We're only at chapter 12.
Mm-hmm. The thing. That would be the best descriptor. Man, we are already at an hour.
Yeah, let's talk. It was conversation.
There is one more thing
Uno más.
that I want to talk about, and it's chapter 6. We'll talk about 2 different things in chapter 6. One,
And what's the next chapter?
the one that comes before 8.
What's the one that comes before 8 that rhymes with heaven that's right after 6?
I'm pretty sure it's not 11.
I'm waiting for you to say it.
Nope. So in chapter 6, David wants to bring the Ark of the Covenant back to Israel because it had been somewhere within Israel that nobody really knew exactly where.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of just sitting in like a storeroom somewhere, and nobody really knew what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So David goes and tries to get it. When the Ark of the Covenant is traveling back, it like shifts on the Ark and is going like, it shifts on the cart that it's being pulled on, and one of the guys that's there, his name is Uzzah. He tries to steady the Ark and try to keep it on the cart, and he dies.
Immediately did.
Here's the crazy part. Why does he die? Like, in all reality, he's trying to keep the Ark from falling on the ground and being dishonored.
It was improper.
What was improper?
The way that they were carrying it.
How should it have been carried?
It should have had the two posts
Uh-huh.
through the thingy, carried by 4 people, right?
By who specifically?
The clean people.
Priests?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Ark of the Covenant was originally supposed to be carried on poles by priests, and these guys were carrying it on a cart pulled by oxen.
Mhm.
And even though Uzzah was trying to keep the Ark of the Covenant from being dishonored by keeping it off the ground, he still died by touching the Ark, and God's anger lashed out at him because God himself was being dishonored. And it says that David was angry at this fact because he was trying to honor God by bringing the Ark of the Covenant back. Like, his whole thing is honor, and he was trying to bring God's Ark of the Covenant back and honor God. But apparently something wasn't right. So what he does is he sends it to a guy by the name of Obed-Edom. Obed-Edom gets to keep this Ark of the Covenant for 3 months, and the Lord actually blesses this guy. The Lord blesses Obed-Edom, and then David's like, okay, so God is not entirely pissed at the entire nation. We should be able to bring it back. So what he does is that he ends up going back, and he does it right this time. They carry back the Ark of the Covenant, advancing 6 steps, then he sacrifices an ox and a fattened calf in celebration of the Ark of the Covenant coming back. You should have pulled that up earlier. There you go. This is a
Idea, not
idea
anywhere.
of what it may have looked like for Uzzah to be
Trying to save the thing from falling.
right. So King David is bringing it back, and he's so excited because now he's able to bring the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark of the Lord's presence, back to Jerusalem, and he is in nothing but a linen garment.
Bro, he's ready to be Tarzan.
He's in nothing but a linen garment. So basically think of a white piece of cloth that's like a t-shirt dress.
Never mind. More than just a line.
And it was basically his underwear.
Oh, not a white cloth like I thought I might have been.
No. It was basically his underwear, but it's a whole thing. It covers his entire body.
Like the Mormon under thing.
Right? And David is praising and dancing and singing and doing all this worship because the Ark of the Covenant is back in town.
Mm-hmm.
And from a window, his wife Michal
Michal.
sees him and is disgusted. David does all of the preparations and the celebrations and all that and the feasts, and then at the end of the day, he comes back home.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back to bless his household. And it says in verse 20 of chapter 6, it says, When David returned home to bless his household, Saul's daughter Michal came out to meet him. How the king of Israel honors himself today, she said. He exposed himself today in the sight of the slave girls of his subjects, like a vulgar person would expose himself. Very displeased at the fact that he was not acting like a king.
She
in her
probably had angry face toward him.
Mm-hmm. He replied back. David replied to Michal, I was dancing before the Lord who chose me over your father and his whole family to appoint me ruler over the Lord's people Israel. I will celebrate before the Lord, and I will humble myself even more and humiliate myself.
Mm-hmm.
I will be honored by the slave girls you spoke about. And Saul's daughter, Michal, had no child to the day of her death.
She becomes barren.
Yeah,
meaning
she doesn't have any children.
She may not have any more kids.
She was so used to the palace life and the royalty life,
Mm-hmm.
and she was so separated from David, because earlier in this book, David says to go fetch Michal from this one guy
Mm-hmm.
because Saul had given Michal to him
Mm-hmm.
instead of David,
Mm-hmm.
because David was Saul's enemy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so Michal was so separated from David and seeing his life of honor and worship towards God and was not living that life herself. And so she sees David and she is disgusted because that's not how a king should act. That's not what she's seen a king should be like.
Mhm.
He should hold himself in high regard. He should be wearing the garments and the crown and the scepter, and he should be bringing in the Ark of the Covenant at the front of the line, acting like royalty.
Mhm.
And David comes with a humble approach that humiliates himself in front of the servant girls because he used to be one of them, one of the common people. He's willing to show the people that he is no more than any of them in the sight of the Lord. He's going to be much more excited. He wants to show people he's much more excited that the Lord is back in to the city than any of them.
Mhm.
And if people join him, then wonderful. But he is so excited that the Lord is in his proper place in the city, and he wants to give worship and honor and praise.
Mhm.
And the punishment for Michal is no children, which is a very sad thing, because
No more carrying on name.
correct, it wouldn't carry on name, and that's another honor thing. Is
It
that
would
if you
end their line.
right, if you didn't have any children, it was a thing of dishonor.
Yes.
So again, another honor dishonor thing.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot more of those parallels as we go through this book of 2 Samuel. We didn't even touch on Bathsheba and David's sin there.
Yeah, we'll get into that
Yes.
later.
So, but yeah, if we want to summarize David in one word, it's honor.
He comes
Honorable.
back. He comes back a lot. When he does stupid, he comes back.
Oh yeah, he comes back really well,
That's why he was called the man after God's own heart.
right? Because he understood how God viewed humanity,
Mhm.
and he understood how God's kingdom worked, and how it should be reflected on earth.
Mhm.
Which is really stinking cool. That's why so many people love King David. Was King David perfect? No. King David was not perfect.
Not in the slightest.
But was he a good guy after God?
Yes.
Yes.
But it's kind of a reflective of how we all are, because we all like can run into walls here and there and do stupidity. But like, God's like, come back here. I'm still waiting. My arms are open. My arms are ready for you, like the prodigal son. Like, my arms are ready for you. Come back, and I will enjoy time with you when you come back. But like, everyone's gonna make mistakes.
Right. So yeah. Well, this was quite a fun conversation on the first few chapters of 2 Samuel.
Yes.
And we'll be talking more about 2 Samuel in a couple more episodes.
Yep.
Yeah, just take a second and read 2 Samuel for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And take the example of honor that David has and apply it to your own life. Like, it's important. Honor is a very big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the kingdom of heaven runs on, that, like, our society in, like, America doesn't really run on very well. Ours tends to run on money and competition.
Yeah, there's not a lot. Like, there's a lot of societies that still run on honor and and respect. Like, there's it Japanese and Chinese, and
Mm-hmm.
Indian,
Yeah.
like Hindu, like all that. It's like you do things to respect your family and care about it. And like, I think in some aspects, like that kind of culture, like actually, I think that restores family values.
I believe so. Yeah.
It restores family values. It restores like someone's own pride and dignity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like we have a lot of families out here that are just like, I don't care, just whatever. And I think if that's how we viewed it, like there'd be parents would care a lot more because societal structure would tell them that they had to, so they wouldn't become an outcast.
And I also think that the children would also be way more willing to be obedient to parents.
And teachers and all those.
Yeah,
things.
and authority figures, and we would be stronger as families and stronger as a nation as a whole because honor would be what would keep us together. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yep.
Well, would you like to pray for us? No, you pray.
Why was it you last time?
You pray.
Was it you last time though?
I don't care. You pray.
Brother. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you that you love us and you care for us. Thank you that we had another episode of their podcast. I just pray that we are able to continue building and working and understanding what you want us to learn. And I just pray for more clear understanding and that all the things that we do to glorify you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Remember, this is our interpretation. Take your own time. Read for yourself. Learn things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for yourself, not for us. Do it for the one who created you. The one who used his holy magic fingers to create the world in the one day. The 7 days, I mean. When he said, let there be light, there was light.
Yes.
God of all creation. Take your time to worship him. Thank you for joining us on
The Basement. We'll see you next week.